Hey guys, hey YouTube, how you doing? Good morning. And I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm B gamer, and I do a lot of gameplays of Madden and games like that. But I'm gonna start talking about sports also sometimes. And football happens to be like one of the biggest sports, and I actually watch it and I actually enjoy it. Um, won't get into much about me, but I hope you guys are having a good morning. And first and foremost, I'm a Cowboys fan, and we're gonna start off with the big game and Big D. And it remains to be seen for us to win a game against a winning team is very disappointing. Yes, I feel like we got off to a slow start. I have not been on the Dak Prescott bandwagon with his contract situation, but I do think he's a good quarterback. I remain by that assumption. Dak can win this team a Super Bowl, in my opinion. But it's a lot of things that he's gonna have to work on because if Trent Dilfer can win a Super Bowl, anybody can win a Super Bowl. It's all about being in the right situation, the right coaches. Do you have a good defense? And me as a Cowboys fan, yes, we have a very, very good defense. We have a very, very good defense. But getting off to slow starts is beginning to be a trend against good teams. And I saw this same story with the Cowboys against the Raiders on Thanksgiving Day. I know the injuries were piled up. We were without Amari Cooper that day. But a lot of teams are dealing with injuries this day and time in the NFL. And with COVID going around, it don't make matters any better. So Dak getting off the slow starts, Dak and the Cowboys getting off the slow starts on offense is really concerning. Another telltale sign that's concerning with Dak is defensive coordinators are catching on to him. Like I said in my other video, when you're not stretching the field, like Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and those guys, and I know Gallup went out early with the injury, and it don't look good. It look like he's gonna be. The Cowboys are saying there are rumors around going already saying it's a torn ACL, so I hope not. But that's the latest news with Michael Gallup. Hopefully he ain't gone for the year, but it ain't looking too well. But Dak don't stretch the field. Like not taking chances to your wide receivers wide. It lets the defense know you're looking in the middle of the field and you're looking to dink and dunk a little too much. Dak is looking, and even though the numbers were great at the end of the game with Dak had 226 yards and 3 touchdowns. That looks good, but sometimes the stats don't always tell the whole story of the game. It was so many tip passes in the game. Like the Cardinals defense played great. Kyler Murray was great with all the injuries he was dealing with. He had no DeAndre Hopkins, and he still made it happen. And that comes into play with Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury, for one, putting the offense around Kyler Murray and working towards his strengths and weaknesses. And Kyler Murray, for being 5'9" and 5'10", is an awesome athlete. But he has trouble seeing over the line. So Cliff Kingsbury, as a coach, he puts him in very, very good situations. Bootlegs, a lot of bootlegs, and it's a gimmicky offense, which makes it tough. And my Cowboys did a very, very good job, in my opinion, staying in the game. Like with Kyler Murray, when you got Kyler Murray, you always have a chance to win with that dual threat capability that he has as a runner and a passer at quarterback. And he makes very, very good decisions also. But getting back to Dak, the tip passes at the line, at the line of scrimmage, the tip passes that Dak had, that's coaching to me. And I love Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator, but Mike McCarthy is starting to be very concerning as well. He's been concerning for a while now because he don't make adjustments. Adjustments, right? Yes, he don't make adjustments. And I mean this. If you watch that game like I watched every snap, the Cardinals on third, when the Cowboys got into third down situations, and no matter whether it was 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 9 situations the Cowboys was in, and a lot of times they didn't convert because Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff did not make any adjustments. The Cardinals were tripping Dak up they were making him think. They were bringing guys down in the box, the whole team, and then they would either drop back or they would send pressure with like 3-man blitzes. So the Cowboys didn't know what to do. And that comes into coaching. Because a lot of those times, Dak was in the backfield by himself in an empty set when the Cardinals were sending Buda Baker and Isaiah Simmons right. Buda Baker was coming in from the edge blitzing. And as an offensive lineman, you can't block all those guys. Somebody's going to come in free. So that comes into Mike McCarthy. If you look back at that game, a lot of those sets, Dak is in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 situations, and he's in the backfield by himself in an empty set. And a lot of tip passes, a lot of, indecisions because he's feeling that pressure. And then you got Chandler Jones, that man-child for the Cardinals, coming off the edge. He wrecked the game for the Cowboys. That guy was everywhere. He was doing good in the passing. He was rushing the passer. He was stopping the run. He was a headache for the Cowboys offensive line. A lot of penalties that I didn't like. I think the referees had way too much input into the game now. I won't get into that, but I think that is very, very much beyond us with Vegas and the odds makers. So I don't want to even get myself in trouble. I don't want the mob to do a little YouTuber like me and find my address and do something to me. So I'm gonna be quiet on that because most of the time it's bigger than us with the game. But with that being said, as a Cowboys fan, I'm gonna leave this alone and I'm gonna go around the league. I think Dak really has to do a reality check, and in the offseason, Jerry Jones is gonna have to restructure his contract because Dak is not. Even though he's a top 10 quarterback in the league to me, I just don't think he should be making that much money that he's making. I think they need to restructure his contract because Dak is a good quarterback, but not great to me. He can get the job done, though, but he's not Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. And, it's being talked now, man. Joe Burrow is playing really, really good ball. I think Joe Burrow is better than Dak now. And, I'm a Cowboys fan. Joe Burrow is a very, very good player, man. Like, Dak just don't. He's starting to, even though his numbers look great, when you watch the whole game, it's a lot of plays he's leaving out there on the field. And ball security, man, I'm really starting to be concerned with that with Dak and his decision making. I hope he can get that together as we go around the league and look at other scores. We had the Buffalo Bills and the Falcons, and the Bills ran away with that one 29-15. Josh Allen, what more can you say? Those guys are playing very, very good football, and they trying to peak right now at the right time. But me as a Cowboys fan, again, I'm gonna go here. I'm kind of happy we got the loss, and I'm gonna say this: I hope we lose to Philadelphia because I like to go on a losing streak into the playoffs instead of a winning streak to me. Because when you go on a losing streak, it makes your team wake up, in my opinion. The Cardinals were when they went into Dallas yesterday, they were on a 3-game losing streak. And a lot of people were counting them out because they had a lot of players out, the Cardinals did, with COVID and injuries. But guess what? A lot of time when teams are hit with the brotherhood of them, they come together and they go that extra mile for each other. They play harder for each other with the injuries going on. You got guys that are 3rd stringers and 4th stringers in the game who know that might be their last opportunity to show that they belong in this league, and they come out and they give it 115%. And they come together and they play so much harder until it's hard to beat teams like that when they're desperate for a win. So the Cardinals came out and gave it their all yesterday. And I think that the Cowboys didn't. And kudos to the Cardinals for that. But as you look at the numbers, Josh Allen didn't play well yesterday, and they got the win. Josh Allen was 11 for 26 for 120 yards and 3 interceptions. Not great at all. Not great at all. 3 interceptions, 120 yards, and Buffalo still got the win. So that's when I tell you guys, numbers don't always tell the whole story. Even though the box score says Bills 29-15, they win the game. But Josh Allen played horribly, but they got the win. It's a team effort. We won't remember this come the next day because Josh Allen them got the win, but he played terrible. He played terrible, and they got the win against the Falcons. That brings the Bills to 10-6 right now. So get back to the scoreboard at hand. The Bears, they beat the Bears beat the Giants, and no one is surprised by that. Bears beating the Giants, and they did it with Andy Dalton at hand and Mike Glennon again starting for the Giants. And I think it's the end of the road for Daniel Jones, and I know he's had every opportunity to prove that he's a franchise quarterback and that he can get the job done and have winning records. But here again, the Giants are sitting at 4-12, and on the verge of missing the playoffs again. I'm gonna go to another big game, and it was the Bengals and the Chiefs. Bengals and the Chiefs. Like I say, Joe Burrow last week he had 500 and something yards passing. This week he goes into that Chiefs, and the Chiefs defense coming to him. And they got off to a slow start, the Bengals did. And, I know Chiefs fans are going to be like, and I agree with you, Chiefs fans. I'm a truth teller, man. I'm a truth teller. I'm not trying to be biased to anybody. I think that the Chiefs got screwed at Cincinnati. I think the Bengals got away with a lot of calls that changed the outcome of that game. A lot of pass interferences, phantom pass interferences, a lot of calls that didn't go the Chiefs' way. And the Bengals got away with a lot of pass interference and a lot of non-calls because it was that home cooking. And I don't know what is the ref's deal, but that's where Vegas comes in sometimes, I think. The refs missed a lot of calls in that game, and it really changed the tables for the Chiefs. The Chiefs went up to a 14-0 lead, and, the Bengals kept chipping away. And, you got to give them props for being resilient and to keep going. But a lot of the calls in that game really swayed to the Bengals' way. And if a team keeps getting calls, they're going to eventually jump out of the snide and get the win. They're going to start playing better. It just told the whole story. You guys look up and go look at some of the highlights of that game, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I watched a lot of that game as well. But the Bengals got away with a lot, but it don't take away from that passing tandem of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Those guys are going to be great for the next decade or so, barring injury. Hopefully those guys have good and healthy careers because Joe Burrow is on his way. 446 yards and 4 touchdowns against that Chiefs defense that has been playing great for the last 5 to 6 games. They've been in the top 5 defensive wise the last 5 to 6 weeks, and they've been playing very, very good. So let's not get that twisted at all. That was a big, huge win for the Bengals, right? Joe Burrow is going to be a star in this league for years and years to come. He's dangerous. Oh, then we got the Titans. The Titans just destroying the Dolphins. The Titans destroyed the Dolphins 34-3. Seriously? Wow. No Derrick Henry, it seems like no problem. And a lot of people were concerned with that. But we're gonna look at the box score and stuff, and I'm looking at it myself, and I'll tell you guys Ryan Tannehill didn't play great, but they still got the job done. Tua had 205 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Tannehill was 13 for 18 and 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, so he didn't make no mistakes. The rushing game for Tennessee was not the best, but all together as a team, it was. They had 198 yards rushing, so that's how they got off the snide. Miami had only 74 rushing yards, but I won't waste too much time with this game. But Tennessee Titans, they got the job done. Seems like no Derrick Henry, no problem. So at least that's what it looks like, because it's all about wins and losses in the NFL. All about wins and losses and staying healthy. Raiders and Colts. The Raiders came up with the win 23-20. And Derek Carr deserves a lot of credit, man. That guy stays even keel no matter what. You had the big incident with, I don't want to call his name, with this receiver that had the accident and got very promising career that might be over now. The Raiders got hit with that controversy and that big tailspin. And Derek Carr stayed even keel, spoke for the team, and he's still there playing good football, winning football. The Raiders are 9-7 now and probably on the verge of making the playoffs. And the Colts are 9-7, and the Colts were looking very, very good. But one thing about the Colts that I see that a lot of teams, and Carson Wentz going back to his Eagle days, he reminds me of Dak. Once the media starts giving the Colts so much attention, it's hard when you got that bullseye on your back, right? When these guys in the media start giving you all this talk about, hey, the Colts might be a top 2 team now in the AFC because they have been playing well for the last 5 to 6 weeks, and then you go and the Raiders come to you and you lay an egg and you lose this game. Carson Wentz didn't play the best, but he didn't play the worst. He was 16 for 27 with 148 yards, and like I tell guys all the time, numbers and stats don't always tell the story. I didn't watch this game, but hey, the Raiders came out on top, 23-20. Indianapolis Colts, man, they laid an egg when the opportunity was there. The opportunity was there to go 10-6 in the AFC and move up in the standings for the playoff seeding, and they laid an egg. Now that brings us to the Jaguars and Patriots. Oh my God, 50-10 Patriots. Oh my God, what is going on with Trevor Lawrence? Like the number 1 pick overall in the draft. Don't mean to talk about this young man like that, but hopefully he can get it turned around because this is only his first season. He seems like he has a bright future, but the numbers have not been great. 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions for Trevor Lawrence. 17 of 27 from the field, passing 193 yards. Matt Jones, on the other hand, 22 for 30, 227 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Patriots. And this is a situation where I feel like, hey, Mac Jones is in a very, very good situation, and Trevor Lawrence isn't. That's what it comes down to. This young man has been through a coaching change, and then he's come to a horrible organization in the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I don't mean horrible into, I don't know how the front office is or whatnot, but winning, it's just been horrible. Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence is in a tough situation, man. I hope that he can get the tools around him, like on the field, the receiving crew that he needs, and also putting the coaching staff around him and the GMs and stuff. They got to do a better job of surrounding this young man, this young promising quarterback with the talent and tools that he needs to succeed in this league. We've seen so many great quarterbacks that got the potential that don't move forward with their career and succeed because of the situation around them. So once Trevor Lawrence, I think, get the situation around him better, receiver and crew, better coaching, I think the sky's the limit for that young man. Because Matt Jones has all that. Bill Belichick, the Patriots way. The Patriots organization we know has been first class. Even though they cheat a little bit with Spygate and all that controversy. I won't get into that. But other than that, very good ownership. They know how to draft very good. Bill Belichick is a mastermind coach, even though I still think he cheats some. But he's a great coach, and Mac Jones is in a very good situation. That brings the Patriots to 10-6, and the Jaguars fall to 2-14. Looks like they'll be the number 1 pick in the draft again. So we'll see where they go with that. We're gonna get into the Buccaneers and the Jets. Oh my God, Antonio Brown is, hopefully that dude gets hopefully he gets the help that he needs, man, because you don't do that, man. You don't do that in the middle of a game. The guy just took his pads off, took his shirt off, and just walked off the field in the middle of the game, and he's not a part of the team anymore. The guy just straight up lost it, and people don't know why. Maybe we'll get the story later, but Antonio Brown has lost his last mind, man. Like, the mind that he did have is gone. For somebody to be that self-centered, why couldn't he just wait till after the game to do that? And the GOAT, Tom Brady, still pulled out the win with Chris Godwin out, and, he still had 410 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Granted, against the New York Jets. And Zach Wilson had 234 yards and a touchdown against the Bucs. and the Bucs barely pulled it out, 28-24. But that just shows you the difference in Tom Brady. Tom Brady cannot even have all his receiver core and still make it happen. He's in a great situation at Tampa Bay. Gronkowski is always there for him, and his safety valve, Mike Evans, and Tom Brady, despite the Antonio Brown drama, they still got it done against the Jets, and it brings them to 12-4 in the NFC. It drops the Jets to 4-12 in the AFC. So hey, despite all the drama in Tampa, the GOAT, aka Tom Brady, got it done with the win in New York Jets. So now that brings us to the Eagles in Washington. As much as people want to, say Washington is not a good football team, and that just shows you how good the Cowboys is as a team to beat the Washington Redskins 52-14, whatever that score was. But that just shows you, because the Eagles is any given Sunday, man. I'll tell you, it's any given Sunday. The Eagles 20-16, and they were at Washington. And Jalen Hurts, not the best, 17-26, 214 yards, QBR of 80.1. Tyler Heineke, 27-36 for 247 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. And Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, they just been winning lately. And the key thing about the Eagles has been their defense. The defense has been playing outstanding. Darius Slay and those guys have been getting after it. It's been hard to score against them. The Cowboys are going to catch hell having to go to the Eagles next week for the regular season finale. And I expect the Eagles to put up a fighting for the playoffs and a wild card spot. I feel like the Eagles they're going to give the Cowboys everything inside of them in Philadelphia. So good luck to the Cowboys with that, because the Eagles are flying high right now. And one more game. Oh my God, I still got this game. Matthew Stafford and the Rams against the Ravens, right? Yeah, they pulled it out in the last second. Matthew Stafford and the guys, they got the job done, but they are very much starting to get concerned with Matthew Stafford and his gunslinger mentality. He's been throwing interceptions. I think he has at least 6 interceptions in the last three weeks. Matt Stafford has thrown at least 6 interceptions combined the last 3 weeks. And as good as he was in the passing game, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns, he had 2 picks. 2 bad picks. Against a Ravens team that's been bombarded by injuries all season. And then Lamar Jackson didn't play on Sunday. But this backup guy, Huntley, is very, very good. He's a very capable quarterback. This guy is good. With the little work we've seen from him, the little sample size, the guy has really, really impressed, in my opinion. He had 197 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 pick, though. Not the best, but this guy can play some ball. With the beat-up Ravens, the Rams went into Baltimore, and they won by 1. With Odell Beckham scoring a touchdown at the end of the game. Amazing how, I'm not saying Odell's playing the best, but it's just amazing how chemistry plays a part. Him and Baker Mayfield could barely throw a touchdown to the guy in Cleveland. And now with the Rams, he's already caught 4 to 5 touchdowns in a short amount of time that he's been there. And they got a big win, and that really puts them in a good place in the seeding in the NFC now. It brings the Rams to 12-4. The Ravens fall to 8-8. Just an injury-riddled season for them. The Broncos got the job done. The Broncos. That brings us to the Broncos and the Chargers. Justin Herbert playing pretty good ball. He's been up and down, though, but he's pretty much, though, we'll take Justin Herbert any day of the week, though. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league as well, and they got the job done 34-13 over the Drew Lock led this week Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater was out with COVID. The Chargers got the job done 34-13. Justin Herbert, 237 yards and 2 touchdowns. Very, very good game. They did what they were supposed to do, and they're on the verge of making the playoffs. And Drew Lock stepped in, 245 yards, 1 touchdown. That's why I tell you the numbers don't always tell the story, because he had a good game yards wise, his QBR was 18.8. So, man, they being brutal with the grading and QBR. So, won't spend too much time with that game. Chargers rolling. They got the job done. They got it done. They got it done in a big way. You might have seen the last of Jimmy G. The 49ers won 23-7 over even though it was the Texans. I know 49ers fans are happy. Trey Lance stepped in and he had a good game and he led them to a victory. He was 16 for 23 with 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. His QBR wasn't the best, but it don't tell the story like I say all the time. Davis Mills has been playing good with the hand he's dealt over there in Houston right now. And Houston is a bad team right now. And Davis Mills, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So, you know, hey, it ain't much you can do. I salute Davis Mills for even still be playing with this horrible, horrible situation that the Houston Texans are in right now. But with that, you guys can see the rest of the scores. Like, I just wanted to go over my love playing Monday morning quarterback and giving my opinions over the games that happened yesterday. The Seahawks ran away with the Lions 51-29. The Saints won the game 18-10 over the Panthers. And the Packers, they won at home to a Kirk Cousins-less Vikings team 37-10, putting the Packers, they're well on their way to the playoffs and looks like the number 1 seed. Barring nothing major happens in the last week of the season, it looks like you're going to have to go through Lambeau Field in the NFC. That's going to be a hard task because not only do you have to go through Lambeau Field, though, the Packers get a lot of home cooking there. So, hey, going through Lambeau Field is going to be tough, but also the Packers are playing good. So, hey, that's going to be a tough task going to Lambeau Field and trying to shake off the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. But, hey, that concludes my Monday morning quarterback and this beat gamer here. I usually do gameplay videos of Madden and things like that, but, you know, I'm a sports guy, too, at the end of the day. And I hope you guys' teams made y'all happy because me as a Cowboys fan, I'm very disappointed, but I'm still going to be a fan till the day I die. Hey, B Gamer here and I'm out. Peace.